Imagine this, a regular taxi ride, nothing unusual. But today, this ride is about to surprise you. The taxi driver? Elon Musk? Yes, that Elon Musk. The billionaire entrepreneur, the mastermind behind Tesla and SpaceX, is behind the wheel of a regular cab. And the twist? He's not just driving, he's there for a reason. He wants a break, a chance to experience life as a regular person, a chance to be anonymous. And today, he's about to give one unsuspecting passenger a ride that will change everything they think they know about life, success, and even themselves. It was early in the morning in Los Angeles. The streets were alive with the hustle and bustle of a city that never slept. But in the middle of all that chaos, there was a man who had decided to step away from the spotlight, to blend in for a while. That man was none other than Elon Musk, the billionaire visionary behind Tesla and SpaceX. That day, he was doing something completely unexpected. He was behind the wheel of a taxi. Now, this wasn't just any taxi, and this wasn't just any ordinary day. Elon Musk, known for his extravagant lifestyle and groundbreaking innovations, was taking a break from his usual life. No business meetings, no public appearances, no endless tech talk. Just him, a taxi, and a chance to experience the world from a different perspective. As the engine hummed, Elon drove through the busy streets of Los Angeles. The traffic was dense, typical for the city, but he wasn't bothered. He wasn't in a hurry. There was something freeing about that moment, something that felt far removed from the pressures of running multiple billion-dollar companies. His day had begun with a simple goal: to get away from the madness, to take a step back, and to see what the world looked like through someone else's eyes. But little did he know, that day, he wasn't just going to observe the world. He was going to change someone's life forever. In the midst of all this, Jake, a high-powered businessman, was dealing with the daily grind. His mind was clouded with thoughts of presentations, meetings, and the never-ending cycle of work that had come to define his life. He was stressed, overwhelmed, and looking for a way to escape it all, if only for a few moments. Jake had called for a taxi, not expecting anything out of the ordinary. When the car arrived, he stepped in, preparing himself for the usual ride. But there was something about the driver. He didn't stand out. He didn't talk much. But there was a certain calmness to him that immediately caught Jake off guard. In the midst of his chaos, the driver seemed completely at ease. Jake looked at the driver's face, wondering if he was missing something. It was almost as if this man was carrying a secret, something deeper than the casual conversation they were having. Elon didn't talk much. He was focused, calm, his presence alone somehow offering Jake the calmness he had been desperately searching for. Jake finally looked up. There was something familiar about the man behind the wheel, the calm presence, the sharp but unassuming eyes. "Hey, do I know you from somewhere?" Elon just smiled. "Maybe." Jake smirked. "You're not going to tell me, are you?" Elon shrugged. "Does it matter?" Something about that response made Jake pause. For the first time in a long while, he felt curious about something other than work. As the drive continued, Jake found himself talking, really talking, about his exhaustion, his frustration, how he felt like he was running on a treadmill, going nowhere, about how he had built a life that looked perfect on the outside, but felt hollow on the inside. Elon listened. He didn't interrupt, didn't try to offer solutions. He just drove, nodding occasionally. Then, without warning, he pulled over. Jake frowned. "This isn't my stop." Elon turned to him, and for the first time, his voice carried weight. "I know, but it's where you need to be." Jake hesitated but stepped out. In front of him stood a building made entirely of glass, reflecting the city around it. The world moved on in its mirrored surface, yet in that moment, Jake saw only himself. "What is this?" Jake asked. "A moment," Elon said simply. "One you need to take." Jake stood still. The air felt different, calm, still. He stared at his reflection in the glass, the city's chaos moving around him while he remained frozen in place. For a moment, it was just him and his mirrored self, face to face. Jake hesitated, then took a deep breath, as if seeing himself clearly for the first time. And then, for the first time in years, he just looked at himself. Not the businessman, not the achiever, just Jake. His reflection stared back at him, and he realized he barely recognized the man in the mirror anymore. He had spent so long running that he had forgotten where he was going. He had been chasing a version of success that didn't even belong to him. Minutes passed, maybe hours. Jake wasn't sure. But when he finally stood up, something inside him had shifted. When he walked back, Elon was waiting in the taxi. Jake got in, exhaling deeply. That was unexpected. Elon smiled. The best things usually are. Jake turned to him. "Who are you, really?" Elon chuckled, his grip tightening slightly on the steering wheel. "Just a guy who's been where you are." Jake nodded slowly. He didn't need confirmation. He already knew. As they drove off, the city outside looked the same, but Jake felt different. He wasn't sure what he would do next, but for the first time in a long time, he wasn't afraid to stop and figure it out. And as for Elon, he was already planning his next ride, because sometimes the biggest changes happen in the most unexpected places. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like and share. Subscribe for more inspiring stories, and remember, sometimes all it takes is one unexpected moment to change everything.